The Oculus Quest is a brilliant new standalone VR headset from the makers of the Oculus Go and the Oculus Rift, and it sits somewhere neatly in between but offers the best of both worlds. Like the Oculus Go, it's completely free of wires and any kind of tethering shenanigans, but like the Rift, you also get that full 6 degrees of freedom as well, so you can actually move around within your virtual landscapes as well as just looking about. You won't need to tether up to a PC or anything like that. Everything you need to get busy with some virtual reality experiences is bundled in the box. Just slip on the headset, grab a hold of the two bundled controllers, and you're ready to leap around in your living room and accidentally twat Nana in the face or punt the dog into the telly. I've been thoroughly testing the Oculus Quest for the past month, and what a fun month it's been. And so far, I've got to say I'm very impressed indeed. Despite the rather steep asking cost, this base model costs £399 here in the UK. That's double the cost of the Oculus Go, and that's before you factor in the cost of any games or anything like that as well. So, is it worth it? Well, here's my full Oculus Quest review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, like most VR headsets, the Quest is rather bulky and not too light either, at 571 grams. At first it kind of feels like you're strapping a badger to your face, but it is amazing how quickly you get used to it, and I found I could comfortably play games for a good hour or two before fatigue started to set in, as long as I didn't strap it on too tight or anything like that. The adjustable straps means that it'll fit any size of bonds quite happily, and I also found that there was a comfortable amount of padding around the actual mask bit so it doesn't get mushed into your face. The rest of the design is pretty straightforward. You've basically got a power button on the right edge and a volume rocker on the bottom, both of which are easy enough to find once you're used to the headset. And there's also a focal adjustment switch as well if different people are using it. Setup is nice and simple, as you would kind of hope. All you've got to do is download the free Oculus app onto your mobile phone and then just sign in either with your Facebook account or set up a fresh new Oculus account and then stick on a card for any purchases you might want to make, and then you're ready to rock. Now the main thing that sets the Oculus Quest apart from its rivals and makes it so bloody lovely is the fact that it offers 6 degrees of freedom, just like its big brother the Rift, except in a completely standalone format, so you don't need to scatter cameras all around the room to track your motions. Unlike the more basic Oculus Go, which is also cable free, the Oculus Quest can actually track your head motions when you're moving forward, backwards, side to side within a virtual space, rather than simply just when you're twisting your head about. And that's thanks to the 4 external cameras, one in each corner of the mask. This really makes a big impact with some games. With the Oculus Quest, for instance, you can duck out of the way of bullets as they come flying at your face, dive for cover, or easily move around an object to examine it from all angles. Hand mapping also works beautifully thanks to those built-in exterior cameras. The Quest controllers each feature a responsive joystick and multiple triggers, so you can easily pick up and manipulate in-game objects. This again really helps with the immersion. No matter what kind of game you're playing, action games, you can quickly grab up weapons and start firing them off. If you're playing an adventure game, something like that, you can pick up an object to manipulate it and solve a puzzle. It really does make a big difference. Now when you first use the Quest in a room that it doesn't recognize, you have to set up a safe zone by drawing a virtual boundary to play in. You'll then get a visual warning in the middle of a game if you stray too close to a real life obstacle. The headset recommends having a space at least 2 square meters to play in, but that only really applies to more energetic, crazy games like Beat Saber. I found that most of the games I could quite happily just play in my living room, which is frankly a little tiny box. The Quest's built-in OLED display is just as strong as any other VR headset that I've tried recently, with a crisp 1440 by 1600 pixel resolution per eye. That's more than even the Rift can manage. Visuals are bright and punchy, although as with all virtual reality sets, you can still quite easily notice the grainy nature of your virtual world if you actually stop and really study what's going on around you. The Quest really delivers on the audio front as well. You won't need to wear earphones as the built-in speakers direct sound right at your ears, providing an immersive surround sound experience without drowning out everything that's going on around you. Definitely a good thing if you don't want to be completely cut off from reality. And battery life is decent too. I found I generally got at least 3 hours of use out of a single charge, which is plenty for a single gaming session. Any more than that, you'd probably start feeling rather queasy. And those controllers just take a single AA battery each, so slap a Duracell in them and they'll keep on going for a good while. Of course, one of the disadvantages of the tether-free Quest compared with the likes of the Rift and the PSVR, stuff like that, is the fact that it has to provide all of its own smarts. You're not actually tethered up to a super powerful computer. In this case, you've got a Snapdragon 835 chipset backed by 4 gigs of RAM. Qualcomm's mobile chipset is getting on a bit now, fast approaching the 3rd anniversary of its launch, but Qualcomm did manufacture this chip with free roam and VR functionality in mind, unlike the more basic Snapdragon 820 chipset found inside of the Oculus Go. This thing is designed to combine 6 degrees of positional tracking, enhanced 3D graphics and surround sound audio into a real-time immersive experience, all while maintaining a nice high frame rate, and that is exactly what you get with the Oculus Quest. Some games such as Robo have noticeably been pared down a bit from their Oculus Rift incarnations, but the visuals are far from disappointing. Those 3D environments and charismatic enemies are still slickly rendered and the gameplay remains beautifully fluid. It really is incredibly rare to see a dropped frame in any title, even the most demanding VR games. Undoubtedly, the Oculus Quest will unfortunately start to show its age before some of its rivals like the Oculus Rift and the PSVR. However, given the complete freedom of movement and everything that you get with the Quest, I'd say that's a fair trade-off. Downloading games and apps can be done direct through the headset itself once you actually stick a card on your account. Although since the Quest is such a young device and so different from its peers, the selection of titles is sadly rather limited right now. Thankfully, the catalogue is broad enough to cover pretty much every genre to some degree, so there really is something for everyone right now. Although there isn't much free-to-play content, and most games cost around the 20 quid mark, even the really short ones like I Expect You to Die. The catalogue should hopefully be expanded pretty quick though, and quite a few Rift titles have already been successfully ported over to the Quest in a pretty good format as well, so fingers crossed. If you want to see my personal pick of the top 10 Oculus Quest games that you can download and play right now, then go check out my video roundup. It's live right now, and hopefully I've remembered to stick a linky thing in just above my head. So in conclusion, the Oculus Quest offers the best of both worlds for VR gaming. Complete freedom of movement without the need to construct some sort of weird permanent tech dungeon in your spare room. It's not cheap and the range of games is rather limited, as with all newly born consoles. But if you've got the cash spare and you're looking for an incredibly immersive gaming experience, you really can't go wrong. So that is what I think of the Oculus Quest right now, a month after launch. Definitely impressed, as I say. But what do you reckon? Are you tempted by the Oculus Quest? Have you maybe got a Rift or a Go and you're thinking of jumping ship onto this bad boy? Well, definitely let us know in the comments down below. And please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you. Come on you buggers.